are proving why they are just one of the best teams here in EMEA with a dominant start against GX. I'm your host, Yinsu, and I'm back here with Kaquka and Ash. I mean, we already talked about it. The map pool might look good for GX, but in the end of the day, they're still going up against an extremely well-coordinated team.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with the 6-0 start, then Giant X, they finally managed to find one round in a sea of a lot of FUT rounds, realistically. And it comes down to a lot of the control that FUT were able to find on that defense side. They looked for a lot of that push and pull across the map as well. And in a moment, we will see how Giant X look to regroup and go back over towards B main here. But you have that deep line that's already being held by Adicap, and you have Yedijay looking to back him up here as well. And the utility from FUT this entire game was sublime. The coordination that we saw coming out from them, they really showed us why they are one of the best teams within our region. You're about to see the paranoia that's thrown out here by Adicaptain, and then it's just the synergy and being able to throw these swings and zones off these players. They go back for that angle, and then the neural theft as well, just to be able to solidify that last pick.
And one of the words that you mentioned that I think it's key is control. I think that for FUT on their defense, it was all about that. It's all about the push and pull. We saw Giant X trying so many things, from leaving a lurker behind, from trying to 5-man push. Some of the duels that FUT were winning, like some of those multi-kills happening in the time span of 2 seconds, maybe should have not happened. But hey, it did. And Giants were not prepared to go on top of that. To me, it was also the aggression. As we were seeing on round 3, I believe that it happened throughout the entirety of the defense. You think if you're Giant X that at some point you're going to have some room to breathe, to plan, to strategically improve around. But against these things, you cannot. The perfect synergy with Ada Captain, Mr. Fallen, and CNED. Like, the smokes are always in place, the stuns, everything is ready to follow up CNED on this performance. Sometimes, you know, he gets the kill, sometimes he doesn't, but look at how deep he goes. They were in control of the situation, of the pacing that they were deciding for this map, and this is why we saw such a dominant work from them.
Yeah, and he was netting all over them, Charles, doing his best. But this is the problem. I think we talk about preparation when it comes to these teams, and I think it was very obvious that in this match, Giant X were going to pick split. Either they were going to pick split, or they were going to float it 100% so they can have it as map 3. And Gaius and the players, I think they knew. I think they probably catered their game plan around this. But as we take a look at Charles Neddington in the AIM Labs warm-up, I think things are about to get even more difficult as we head to Lotus. Now, the last time these two teams faced each other, they had Icebox as the second map. That's when GX were actually able to take a map off of them, but Icebox is not going to be the second map, and it looks like, Ash, if things carry on the way that they did on Split, GX might just be eliminated today.
The thing that I'm looking towards, though, is despite how disparaging this scoreline was on Split, we still saw Giant X hyping each other up on that stage, still bringing that energy, and that does leave me a little bit more hopeful for a Lotus, where we've seen a bit of a back and forth as far as the consistency of FUT on this map. It's been ups and downs. They lost 7-13 up against Koi in week 1. Granted, that was their super week as well, but Giant X have looked a lot more consistent on Lotus in comparison. But again, it's still FUT that they're facing up against, and we're likely seeing CNED unleashed on that.
And we need to see what's going to happen with the agents, of course.
Yeah, let's take a look at agent select here. Well, there's going to be some changes. How are we feeling about this?
So Fancy's directly slotting into what Bretgar was going to be doing. Not only that, remember that this is FUT's map pick, and Giant X is joining the kind of the teams that want to start, that prefer to start on the defense here on this map. The problem is if FUT keep going on this strategic, I'm going to say dominance, and how assertive they are and how CNED is so well set up, is going to be more than difficult.
It's really difficult because they're looking at the fact that there's really no room for Giant X to breathe. And again, now being on the attacking side, FUT are even more enabled to try and control the pace of the game. But I'm really going to have my eyes on Purpo to try and shake that up against FUT, looking towards some of those aggressive plays over towards Rubble, over towards Mound on C as well, playing that push and pull, and just trying to push them back on the attack.
Well, this is the thing. It's a must to win Giant X. They have to force a map 3. Otherwise, if they get 2-0 here, Mitch and Tom, they will be eliminated from playoff contention.
Well, it's a big map and the pressure is on, Tom. We gotta hope that there's a big change from what we saw in the first. Inside of GX, I feel like they just didn't get started on their own map. Do you expect it to be different defensive side Lotus?
I think it's definitely going to be difficult. I will say, defensive side, Lotus, last time they played versus Na'Vi. Their retakes were solid. They did really well. They had an 8-4 defensive half. They won 13-9. The previous 2 times in the split before, they beat Vitality and Liquid here.
Good.
In multiple overtimes. So
Right.
it was a very close map.
17-15.
For the side of FUT, I almost wonder if they're picking this to like workshop it a little bit more, because they had a big win versus Na'Vi and then lost to Koi. So I think it's a map that's a little bit more in the middle for them, even though they've had some incredible attack sides in the past, including 6-0 versus Na'Vi and a 9-3 versus Fnatic last split. So they're not a bad Lotus team. I just think it might be something they're working on a bit.
You can see that off the side of FUT. They've picked it. They are on the attack side, setting the pace. It certainly was an interesting one when it came to the rifles. Quick peek out of GX, trying to get right back into the fight, but Purpo sent running. Good paranoia, slowed them down. Now moving to the wards, the backside is Krax. He's having a tough time getting involved, but Captain was there to support. Still is. There are so many tagged up players on GX. Bullets landing, but the attackers thinning out, down to just 2. Big play needed. Yettage and Captain both trapped in tree, but they've got sight over the spike itself. Nice shot to start. Yettage with a big task. Despite the HP being low, it's enough for GX to take the pistol.
He's a little bit unlucky. The one player he shot first was the only one that still had health. Anybody else goes down immediately and he has a chance to maybe correct his aim a little bit quicker. Wasn't quite the case, though. And for GX, winning a pistol round, well, they won the second in the last map, but getting off to a strong start here is going to be integral. As I said, like, this is not a bad map for them whatsoever, but you also have to bear in mind that I believe all of those previous matches were with Redguard. So this will be the time where we have Famzy in there, which, okay, for a lot of people is looking like an upgrade, at least on an individual level. But I feel like this is a map where actually Redguard was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, there's a lot to be made up for there, perhaps, and GX we'll see later on. When we move towards the push and the pull of this map, when the rifles are out, how the round-to-round has changed, perhaps to benefit them, we'll see. A lot of utility awaiting this seed push from FUT, and a lot of players too. They've already rotated in a second and a third member, and Purpo's the one taking that opening fight, building up the ultimate just 3 away. And very low risk to this round for him as well. He's the guy with the pistol, the one that can afford to go down. With 3 players stacked up on C, FUT decided to take the orb, fake the walk back, the run back for a moment. They maybe think that the presence is going to A, wall goes up, doors opened, and that's where GX think, oh, it's A, rotate. But the dog's seen everything, and Vitinho's still ready to take that fight. It hasn't worked out for FUT. The mind game's not functional, and lots of control still for the GX side without a sweat to be broken. They'll have a tough time finding any value. And in rounds like this, we often do just talk about it as damage. That's a lot of damage. 13 HP left on Cloud, but he still survives. Holds on a moment longer.
Oh, hopefully they've got some tape for that. Nice shot from CNED. Plant will be in, so at least a little bit. Okay, that's 2 kills now. I don't expect much more, and thankfully already Krax is going to be dealt with. CNED, even an extra kill here would be wonderful. He's got to almost pre-fire the angles, and Purpo will shut down the shenanigans of the opposing duelist. Something else I think definitely worth highlighting is I've loved seeing Purpo play this Neon. I think he's an absolute tank just running around the map, and I think it's an agent that suits him better than most. I think a lot have sort of tried to adapt to this agent for the meta. I feel like for him, it just suits his playstyle.
Well, so far he's been having good results, just 1 away from the ult coming out. And, well, when this replay finishes, I guess we'll see if he's going to stick with the buy. Yeah, there's an operator in his hands right now. He saved the Guardian, dropped it to Cloud, and said, yeah, I've got a bit of cash. Yeah.
That's the, like, it's not a gun I expected to see, and this is definitely not the spot I expected to see it in.
Even like if you're a chamber, maybe you can TP right back, but Purpo's going to have a tough time. He can run quickly,
he can slide to the left. But if he goes down, he can't take it back now, y'all.
For God's sake. Oh, help me. Help me. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right, Tom. He can't take it back now, y'all. I like to see if he goes around that angle. Oh, no hops this time. He's straight out of the round. Hoodie trying to trade out, but with his Sheriff in his hat, he gets one. He gets CNED up top. Nice, clean correction. Anacat at 11 HP, and he's leading the charge. Okay, happy to be traded out. Didn't see that one coming. 2 versus 3. Op on the floor. Chance for GX maybe to just run in, nab it, and get out of there. We'll see what the decision-making leads to. But, well, it's not like they need the credits for the next. This was their bonus, and they can make it costly in a 2 versus 3. A few shots on the cracks, and this round could be theirs. Oh, let's rethink it now.
Oh. Yeah, that's another Mr. Fallen shot. 1 HP. Even still, Fatinho's found another kill. These is getting a little bit shaky, but, well, a 1v2 with 1 health. Not going to be working out. I wouldn't say that one was real smooth by FUT, but even still, they're still going to be able to buy into this next round. It may have a few pieces missing here and there, maybe some lighter shields necessary, but I think they're going to be able to juggle around all the weaponry. And of course, for the defense, still going to have a purchase here, along with the overdrive available for Purpo. It's not about ramp, but that was sort of the risk. It's like he has to take very aggressive pushes around the map, and FUT on their attack a lot of the time are going to play as a death ball, as most will, with Yedege on the one side. You get it wrong, you run into that death ball with an operator, the best you can do is get 1 kill.
You get it right. You walk into Yedege, and who knows?
And the best you can do is get 0 kills.
It depends where he is. Yeah, we've had FUT early on. I think updraft was just used by CNED to peek his head above the pillar. See that mound control was being conceded. Having fallen back, Fatinho gives the space but calls for the rotates. 2 players coming to help. It's Purpo and Famzy now close on C, with Hoodie playing inside the B con in an aggressive spot. This is what it all hinges on. Is Cloud. He's pushed up on A, holding the contact around Rubble. There's a dog on deep. It's spotted 3, in fact. That is huge. The timing there. A second earlier, and it wouldn't have seen anything. Instead, Cloud was ready for the fight, but he loses it. And now the pressure's on. I'm not sure that Hoodie should compete for this. And if he falls back, okay, Flash sees nothing. But if he falls back, they lose their information. Although it looks like the read. Oh, FUT are going back and forth here. It's like a yo-yo. They were going out. They dodged the flash. They leave the space. And now they're right back in. Perfectly sold fake.
This round fake. Almost reminisces of their old comp, where it just relied on CNED getting an opener. But the thing is, when you have one of the best entry fraggers in the world, you can rely on that. Frustratingly, because you talk about that last map, I'm talking crossfires, stuns, flashes, like all these cool little trap setup of util. CNED walked out, headshot first guy, walk out, headshot second guy, round over, plant spike. See you later. Goodbye, my name's CNED. I'm better than you.
Nice to meet you. I feel like, in general, yeah, this round for FUT, it's textbook. They slide it to the right, and they slide it to the left. They freeze, and what do? After GX have rotated all the way to C again, that they're convinced that, yeah, they've left A, they've gone to C, then they take it back now, y'all. It is perfect. You saw this coming, Tom.
Crisscross.
There was no Chris. There was none of that. Just the other stuff happened.
Is there anyone on Giant X called Chris? Because he would be quite cross right now. No, I'm going to stop. It's getting ridiculous.
Okay, I regret. I'm sorry I brought that back up. That was me. That was my fault that time.
Well, we wait out the time. Oh, just get owned. On purpose, I'll play a little pixel angle, maybe catch myself a kill instead. Cracks has just taken his head clean off, and after the pistol and second round, it seems like we might have us. Yeah, it is a very early GX pause, but with the way this round went, as said, like, there wasn't really anything special here from the side of FUT. When we went back to that old composition where they were running like a Sage and no initiators, when that comp is fundamentally bad, but the thing that worked for them was exactly what they did in this round. CNED would take an aggressive peek, and if you don't hit that shot immediately, he will, even if he doesn't know where you are. And that's the thing, it's like we see a lot of players, I think Brave has been my favorite example this season, where he plays very aggressively around that rubble area, but he's able to get so much value because he has that maneuverability. For Cloud, his reliance is on hitting that first shot, and against a team like FUT, you can't lose that battle. And I want to see more. I want to see more of what you can do to avoid that happening, because that's a raw aim fight that has turned the round on its head.
Yeah, and that is what led to that double fake being so successful, the space taken, the fact that they can fall back, see that GX go to panic stations. Remember, it was essentially a 3-stack towards C, with the only player left on that side of the map being a Sky of Hoodie inside A Link. Hoodie flashes out, doesn't see anybody, and I think that's what gets FUT to go, okay, they've seen none of us there now after the initial fight, after we should be around rubble. They're not going to rotate to A. They're not going to stack it up. It was a perfect read of the space that was being conceded, of the adjustments that GX were putting through. Now, the defensive side, they've got rifles out, but there's a lot of weaknesses. Bulldogs, Guardians coming through. The shot's not landing on the spams early. Oh, nice few shots there. I like it. But it won't amount to much. GX get early control, but they have rubble. And now a better setup. I like the fact that Famsy's
very similar to what I was talking about with BBL. This is exactly what they do. The 4-man aggressive push, the quick move back. Interestingly, they've actually stacked up the other side. He has Paranoia, which could potentially get him out of there. He's still going to take the fight, and well, he gets one. Guess what? CNED's going to trade it. It leaves Cloud in a pretty rough position, but he's actually going to use their own wall against him, and yet he's made it past. He's made it past. They've not seen each other. The battle is everything. Because of that, it leaves an opening on that side of the map. You have to now gamble players back in the other direction, and he's going to get them all the information.
He's actually used their Skydog as a signal of when he could push. It came out from C all the way down Mound and stopped just around the corner from where he is right now. He was exactly where he is now. Yedije outside C, grabbed himself the space around the Mound. The timing was perfect, and I think he got a bit surprised to see Vitinho there too, but, well, he adjusts correctly, finds the kill. And as a result, they walk into B with a free plant inside a Viper's pit, and outside it is CNED. They can't even get near the toxins, and they're already depleted. Again, the word save starts to float around, especially knowing you're going through a pit for this retake. It's just not worth committing what few credits you can bring through to the next round, which might even mean Purpo saving a Bulldog here.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well was Cloud had Nightfall. So he had the one good counter to that ultimate, and the second he's dead. I think that's probably why CNED's playing in front of it. He's going to try and stop you being able to get any positioning. But this is the thing, like, we'll always have arguments where there is compositions that might be fundamentally better if you run a different agent. Like, I think it's fairly common when you look at a map like Lotus that you're... That's rough.
He was
right. It's fairly common that you're running Neon or you're running Raze. Anybody who argues that CNED should be playing something else has never watched him play. Because he goes on to Jet. Again, his utility is almost irrelevant. It just seems like he just... The second he locks in that agent, here's a few voice lines. His headshot percentage hits 100.
GX, 3 pistols. A lot of weaknesses for the squad to work with. One player spotted aggressively in the angle, and they've got a stun. They're not gonna put it through though. Instead, dry peeking him, and Purpo's taking full advantage of that mistake. Yedije and CNED down and out of the round, and now the weaknesses for GX, well, they can go back and pick those rifles up later, and even for now, without those rifles recovered, they've got the advantages in numbers. That's all they need now to group up, play this one as a unit, and even better that there's an alarm bot sitting outside C with a lot of information to work around. This is going to be a tough one for FUT to get back into. They're at least...
Timing.
You're dead! You're dead! And both those rifles are now recoverable. It's Purpo's 3rd kill of the round, and he caught them doing housekeeping.
Yeah, I don't think they expected anybody to reaggress, and why these fights have not been favorable in any scenario. The multi-kill king in a 1v5, it would be the best of them so far, and he's going to get nothing. And Andalucia flawless for GX to bounce back onto the board, and well, Purpo take a bow. That was impressive.
Well, you talk about needing a way back into the game. I think that is it just gifted to you. What an unbelievable display from Purpo. That one less so. I mean, he killed a man with his back turned, but it's the first 2 kills.
He still hit the headshot.
He did. He did.
That's the thing. That was the hardest to hit.
I think the guy was jumping as well. Let's go! Yeah, he's fired up, and understandably, that round is going to suck to lose. And you know what, FUT? I'm going to say it. A little taste of your own medicine here, okay? You've made a lot of teams feel like that over the course of the last 2 seasons. Now they get to taste it themselves. And tying up the scoreline as well. Vitinho opens it up with a kill to Mr. Fallen. The man who couldn't die last map, now eliminated early on. Yedije, there was a world where he got both, and I almost felt like we lived in it. Not this time.
Cloud jump peeking again. Shot. Missed. He's actually going to go, like, the risky fight. He's done that a couple of times, and it's a round where ultimately You had a man advantage. He had the information because the player already shot. Just decided to take a gamble, and that gamble has not paid off. At a captain's position here is all going to come down to timing. Vitinho is watching, though, a good read, ready to try and catch those players. And although the Rolling Thunder is now online, the advantage definitely sits when you look at those ultimates for the defense.
Oh, they're going to fight up to the spawn. With a lot of utility on... Where's Cracks going? Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this, Tom. They're splitting. Let's see where the positions end up, because I thought Cracks was going in towards Tree. Instead, he breaks the Seeker, he goes back, he's with his teammate. Now I like it again. But the problem is, they're going to be locked out.
He can just Rolling Thunder out this, though. This back corner, they can try and take the space, and then he's going to Rolling Thunder and get that space right back. There you go. The second they try and get into the site, it's not actually going to help them that much. Aftershock to slow them down. The time is ticking, but they need to start hitting some shots if they're going to hold this. Peak count already. There's one, but the trade is immediate. But that clock really is ticking, and they don't know where CNET is. It's just going to come down to Purple, but he's run out of time. That Rolling Thunder bought so much on the clock. The kills did enough, and FUT are going to be able to hold on to the round with a Red Bull clutch.
Gorgeous read in that position. Even playing forward, when I saw them split, and again, I thought one was going Heaven, one was going Tree with a Rolling Thunder in play. This would have been a big gamble splitting up like that, but instead, grouping, playing it together, eating down the utility, and then being able to sit in that position. Oh, why do you think you're able to put the Rolling Thunder down as Cracks? It's because you got CNET covering up top. You know that peak isn't coming through from spawn. They needed that control. They played every bit of it just as they should. 3-4, lead back in FUT's hands, but the rifles have come out yet again. GX might have light shields on all of their players, pardon me, and an ultimate to work with in the Nightfall, but it's FUT that are positioned best economically in winning this. They'll crush their opponent's economy and leave them in a pretty rough position at 5-3, likely 6-3, and then just run away with the half. This is a big round for GX to get on the board.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get nervous every time I see Cloud aggressive. Like, it seems like a risk a lot of the time. The TP into the site. He's got the read wrong, though, and that one's for free. Cloud made it back, and there hasn't been a punish. Still having utility to try and deny. It's going to be a battle towards Hoodie, and he's caught switching between aiming in and aiming out. Now Purpo's the man to fight. It's a little bit awkward, and he's ended up stuck in the mud as well. Full commitment from these fights for the players of GX, and well, it now puts the advantage back with FUT again.
Tino's thinking about peeking. It's just for the information, I guess. He's backed off now. Early read was around Cloud's aggression. Now they wait for him to re-aggress into this position. Yennege's lurk expected but not dealt with. The clean first shot cam up. He's not going to activate it. He's just trying to draw their crosshair for a moment, but Famzy focused in, finds the first. Unable to land out of Captain, and he snuck away. This could be a problem now. The crossfires become a big issue. The stun in play, not even needed. Gorgeous stuff from the side of FUT, and this is devastating for GX. They had the credits. Now, it's going to be that little closer for a lot of these players. It's a question of do you buy or don't you, and for FUT, an opportunity to further extend that scoreline.
CNET has been so good at bringing these rounds back. But that's the thing, I feel like there's been now maybe 3+ rounds that we've seen where GX have had an advantage, and they've done something that's let it slip away. In this case, I'm a little bit more forgiving. Like, you had an attempted delay on both players, and just CNET just destroyed Hoodie. Like, I don't even know what you could do from that scenario. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a world where GX could easily be in the lead here. It's just that FUT have been so good at bringing back these rounds.
So many of them, yeah. We saw it from round 2 or 3. Nice shot by CNET. That was one of the pistols eliminated, still 2. Famzy used the ult to rotate quickly. Nightfall might be expanded for this round.
Okay.
The wall bangs caught Cracks. Now I think they'll commit it. They want to send themselves in to try and make this round work. Hell, it happened before, and Purpo only had a pistol that time. The next set of spams, not landing, but the Nightfall's in.
Good combo.
Purpo's quickly up close, ready to take the fight. CNET around the side of the smoke, won't be challenged just yet. A lot of this attack is coming down to Ada Captain. He slowed them, and now they're waiting for him to re-emerge from the smoke. In fact, running down the clock bit by bit, allowing his teammates to regain their senses.
There he is.
And then he strikes. There's a reason they were worried about him for the last 30 seconds, and you see it there. 6-3 now for FUT. And they have flown into the lead.
Yeah, again, the early stages of this map looked like it was going to be potentially even a lead for GX, but you get into these post plants, and even though some of them have been close, even though some of them could have gone the other way, you're now looking at 6 of the last 7 rounds going in favor of FUT. CNED's popping off. It's unfortunate again, because I see GX have a Paranoia, Nightfall, and a Stun all towards the back of the site. They're just unable to move forward, and I think it was Anacaptain that was just able to delay them just enough that then the rest of the players, well, they're not decayed anymore. They don't have a problem going for those refaces. But for GX now, this is, again, it's starting to get worrying. You're getting to a point where, what, you're 7 rounds away from your year being over. Like, that's what we're currently talking about.
It's heavy.
You have to realize we are currently in July. 9th of July is where GX could be done for the year. Like, okay, sure, we talk about the off-season, but that's not the VCT. That's not where you're competing for champions. And yeah, although even if they manage to turn this series around from this point onwards, they still might not make it through. If they lose this map, it is over. They are done. There is no way that they can make it through to that final stage. And while I'm sure there's a few other teams looking at their terrifying tiebreaker options, they'll be a little bit happy about that.
A wise man once said, good times make good memories, bad times make good lessons. And I think for GX, they've been taught a few lessons this year.
They're going to have a long time to think about that.
Yeah, well, listen, they've had a long time to think about some of the previous losses they've had, and especially when you look at this map, the amount of rounds they've put in. Go ahead.
Can you go up to Pipson and say that after the game?
No, I would fear for my safety. But no, for GX, let's see if they can apply what they've learned. We've had a timeout, and now it's time to course correct that. And Captain again! This guy just doesn't stop. When times are bleak for his opponents, he comes in and turns the lights out. My goodness. 4 versus 3 and a Viper's Pit activated again for GX. In a normal round, you start to think about saving at this point, but I'm not sure they can afford that anymore.
Yeah, he's at least a little bit low, but no ultimates to play with. Nightfall expended in the previous round. I bet they wish they had it now. Because clearing out this pit is definitely not going to be easy. And you can see they've left Anacaptain in the corner. His only goal is to survive. The rest is just going to try and defend him, make it so much more difficult to get anything with the pit. Nice shot from Purpo, but that time is ticking. Snakebite going to make it even lower. Sees, will catch, cracks. It makes it awkward for him. Another kill for Purpo, and a Captain's still standing though, and he's just doing it all himself. Looking for the ace. He was just a split second away from getting it, and he's going to hunt for it. He's trying to chase down Purpo. That's exactly what he'll get. And a Captain survives the round while acing against GX.
Man, that's gotta suck. You call a timeout. All right, guys, we need this round. This is our round. We fight back. Here's the strategy. A, B, C. And this guy comes out and aces your goddamn round.
It's ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's all he needed. 5 kills. Locked in. Yeah, and that's it. The morale at an all-time high. This guy doesn't give a damn. He's doing it so frequently, it's lost all feeling now. He's like, oh, yeah, whatever. An ace, was it? I got 5? Cool.
Yeah.
How many rounds we got?
Viper's Pit as well. Like, I don't, like, the second that's activated, I think he had 46 HP or something when he
48,
started.
somewhere around there, yeah.
When he started in that Viper's Pit.
He just pulls out a shorty and starts just gatting them down. Hunts them into their spawn. Yeah, I would say a confidence builder if I didn't think FUT already had the confidence sky high.
He looked so confident after that.
It's one of those rounds that GX are not going to want to learn a lesson of. You just want to forget about those ones. That is a very bad time.
Well, they still have a buy. A couple of Guardians in play. Blaze Storm for Cena, but he hasn't really needed it. Up and above, he goes straight into the hands of Hoodie. An audacious attempt. Maybe going for style points at this time of the game, but already 7 rounds on their attack, looking stellar. And as said, there's been advantages many times, opening kills many times for GX. Can they finally convert one?
I think we finally just seen what happens when CNED runs into the whole team with 3 players, right? He dives in, can't isolate a duel, gets dropped. Okay, no problem. 3A, nobody B. Leave out lurkers like Mr. Fallen to try and catch them late. Yedajay's position, look at his position inside of B main. This is unprecedented. They've dropped out a captain but forgot about their back. Mr. Fallen gets it, and now they're focused everywhere. But behind, just one player, Cloud, watching it still. Wary that Yedajay might round the corner, and he's got his reward. It's a messy fight. Cracks with the flash, but it's already halved. He needs to swing now, and it's too late. They've got it across the line. Another big round for Purpo. Cloud cleaning up Yedajay's flank as well. A pivotal part of taking this across the line. One more to compete for, and 5 possible at the half. Look, it's far from over, but it is looking pretty bleak for GX.
Yeah, that's the first round after a 4-round streak, and even still it leaves the economy in a pretty awkward position. I will say GX going onto the attack, if they have 5 rounds, that's really not too bad. And I have to admit, this has been, I think the last couple of weeks, we're starting to really see the Purple that everybody was raving about.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is 15-6 versus FUT, and it's not like FUT have been playing a bad game. Like, CNED is on point, Captain's definitely on point. So I think whether this is the end of their journey or not, he's going to be someone I definitely want to see in the league next year.
At least 2 of the round wins they have are off Purpo, coming out of nowhere with a 3K. That's 2 out of 4. And I think he's heavily involved in the others as well, so yeah, his impact has been huge. Shining light for this squad. Rolling Thunder used, finds nobody. A much more passive hold out of Cloud. I like that he's swapping his position, switching it up, keeping foot on their feet, meaning utility falls dry. Big flank underway. Players spotted and Yedajay still tucked in, and they might have time to clear it now, having already seen him. The stun goes through. They've got him isolated, blinded up, and dealt with, but he still gets one. Famzy, though, has recovered, finding himself the double, putting them ahead by 2, and now the death ball into the A site commences with Cracks and Captain having the world on their shoulders, some utility to slow them down, but it's the fights. When these fights come through, they shouldn't be isolated, but they are! It's Captain again! 3 kills, and Cloud with it all to do. He has to find Cracks, who snuck into the corner, and he's done it! Just about recovered on this round. The time, the only remaining enemy, and it will be close. But not close enough. 0.32 of a second for the Red Bull clutch from Cloud. Gorgeous play, but that came a little too close for my comfort.
It's not. If I saw that in a different FPS game, I'm reporting him for cheating. Because it, like, genuinely, those kills were just ridiculous. Like, it was just predicting the movement of every single player.
He's upset he didn't get 4.
No, he's looking at everyone else going, guys. Like, I bet after that he was like, yeah, we probably should have done a bit better in that round. 7-5. Honestly, considering the way a lot of those rounds went, I feel like GX getting out of that with 5, especially towards the end, it's not too bad. Like, they're now going to go into the attack. If Purpo can keep popping, they still have a chance. I will be saying, like, for them to win with their current trajectory, he needs to get like 40 kills, but that, which is not the greatest sign, but hopefully with those last couple, we're going to see a couple more wake up. Already an aggressive stance to try and defend this C site, and B is left completely open. It will be an afterplant, but I'm guessing by FUT, this was by design.
Cam destroyed as well. It was still up for a while for FUT. They've seen enough players make it through. I think at least 3 with the steps, and they're wary that Cloud wasn't seen, that he could be around here. I love this late play by FUT. The fact that they go around rubble. 3 players clearing that angle. Even 1 going on the left while the other 2 are right. They had all their bases covered. Yedajay's picked up Patino. It's looking quite bad now for the attackers. GX need a hero, and they won't find one. Not unless it's Hoodie, stuck behind a smoke. 4 players to take down, and the spike already diffusing halfway. He's got a swing. He does well to even find the one before CNED roots him out. Takes the diffuse, so he's now halfway to getting that Blade Storm after round 1.
Yeah, a pistol under their belt. There's only going to make things that little bit worse. Obviously, GX managed to have that little boost in the first half with the pistol, but again, solid utility to set up some of these kills, and then, well, CNED. CNED with a few extra star points towards the end. He's been great. Him and Anna Captain joint. Well, and Purple, in fact. All 16 and 8. In terms of this round, a minimal investment. Purpo's gonna potentially put something extra into a pistol. I think even then he's realizing that in this case it's maybe not worth it.
Well, early push, quite aggressive by Purpo, but he's fallen back. Grouped up with the team now, and they have a decision to make. Go through the smoke. Opening the door is a bit of a ruse. It's all to go through that door, straight towards Mr. Fallen. He's up very close, too close for comfort in a round like this with so many weaknesses. And GX haven't committed. They went in, took the space, now fighting their way back, and it's straight into Captain. He's only good for 2. And up against the pistols, he's done quite a bit of damage. But it gives them a chance now to take those nasty close positions and maybe find some value.
It's definitely not going to be easy. Still have the flashes of cracks, the paranoia as well. Cam can even clear an angle if they need to. Vitinho with the Bulldog is going to be the main threat. And he's going walkabouts. He's trying to find somebody wrapping this close angle. Flash not going to affect him, but already those fights have not gone his way. Famzy left alone. Anything would be nice, but in fact, it will be absolutely nothing. All the weaponry will be kept through for FUT, and okay, a plant's going to put a few extra credits in the pockets of GX. Ultimately isn't going to affect that next round. And of course, they're putting more obs onto CNED.
2 away from a Blade Storm can be a good recovery if they lose this upcoming round. And as you said, yeah, they keep their weaponry, but there are a lot of weaknesses. 2 Spectres, got the Bulldog and an Outlaw to work with. It seems like Prax is going to be investing into a rifle as well. It's not the healthiest of buys, but that Outlaw can do a lot of work. On this map in particular, especially defensive side, I'm a huge fan of it. There's so many nasty angles you can hold.
Think about their last map. They almost won it cleanly in the round where they had a bonus. So we know that on the defensive side, FUT can be devastating. And yeah, I agree. Like, CNED is going to be one of the major threats. They're going to avoid him in this early round. But that also means that he's taken an awful lot of map control. So you can already see a gamble back towards the B site, while GX pressure and probe to try and find a spot. Maybe hope for an empty B site. It's not going to be the case. A couple of players here, but again, the weaponry not favorable.
Not a huge amount of information either, just Mr. Fallen close, and the paranoia has pushed them back for a moment. It was traded. Oh, damage is huge. With support from further back, Reveal is in, and it's caught 1 kill. Oh, Yedajay's in trouble, but he's made it out while CNED picks up 1. Having come through the door, he's down to a classic, and lit Hoodie enough that a spam through the smoke was enough to take him down. The slide out from Purpo into the waiting arms of Captain confirms it. 10 rounds on the board for FUT. And that was a round GX really needed. Coming out of a pistol and the follow-up, that was their chance to put 1 on the board.
It's interesting as well, because I feel like the Spectre for a lot of teams is quite an unpopular choice nowadays.
Sure.
Like, you lean towards the Stingers, but FUT have now, I would say, won both bonus rounds off the back of Spectres. Like, it just off solid stuns. I think there was a stun from Cracks that helped out Mr. Fallen. He's rewarding him for what happened in the last. And you get into these close quarters, awkward angles. That gun's really not bad, especially when it's in the hands of some of the players of FUT. Still going to be a purchase here. GX are throwing everything into the wind. They've invested everything they can into this round. It means if they lose it, it might just be GG here and now.
Well, it's a tack-out round, right? Guys, if we think we're better than them, let's prove it here and now. Force buy it, see what you can get done.
How'd that go?
Well, not great for him. There was an of course not. But maybe it can work for GX. Captain, he's under pressure. Snakebites in. That slowed them. Nobody can push through that door now. They've got to respect the utility in play, but they've wrapped on it instead, and it's not worked out. He hits the shot on the slide. And now the swing comes out from, well, a teammate, I suppose, traded out decently. Cloud managing to sneak his way through the door. Mr. Fallen might have been spotted rounding that corner, but he's hot on his tail. He's caught the kills eventually. In fact, it was Cloud to get it across the line. Doesn't matter who strikes the killing blow once they survive for the post plant. And with 35 seconds left, the spike hasn't been planted, Tom, and we're down to a 2 versus 1. They have allowed him to get it in play, though. Time on the side.
Blade Storm available if needed. Reposition from Cloud is not bad, but he slightly missed the timing. You'll hear the steps. Only so many positions he can be, but the pings seem to be going in the wrong direction. Reed not quite there. They've got this one completely wrong, but the shot's not connected. And well, you only get 1 shot of that Cloud. Unfortunately, it's not going to be happening. FUT will climb up to 11. As said, that was a pretty important one in terms of how much was invested. I think the plant will probably help them if they wanted to go for a similar sort of buy.
It's nuts.
But that's the problem. This is now just becoming a game of force buys. No shields, or light shields for the most part. Pieces of utility missing here and there. You're not being able to beat FUT when they were on the low buy. Investing like this, I feel like they're forcing themselves out of the game.
Oh, they're racing towards the conclusion, whether it's their comeback or their ultimate defeat. Remember, at this stage of the game, everything's on the line for GX. This is the response of a team that feels their tournament life fading round by round. They force it up, and they've managed to push Yedege off the angle, almost dropping him, caught on the way through, spotted by Ada Captain. Great reveal on the trap, placed earlier, and good thing Yedege was still alive. That's given the advantage over, and a bit of damage on the spams.
Post plant that will get them a Nightfall.
Spike planted.
The ult could be huge. Cloud's going to take a little bit of damage, but he's going to try and wait this one out. Needs to make sure he's alive in that late round scenario. Ult is going to be used, but they try and fight the cross. Obviously not affected by any of that utility. Mr. Fallen's found another. Vitinho, he's done fantastically well. 3 kills under his belt now. Putting this into a 2 versus 2. Make it just 1. Cena to do it all, but it's Vitinho. A little bit of life for the Spaniard under his Spanish org.
5-round gap, doable. Yeah, I can't help but think FUT, they overheated a bit. They started to emerge from that smoke one at a time. Each player wanted to have their moment. And it got cut short. This man waiting on the other side.
Unreal.
Look at it, that was a shorty coming out of the smoke to take him down, and a 180 spin on CNET. They are fighting tooth and nail, and the force buy now working out. Still, light shields across the board. No outlaw to work with, but a very aggressive push coming through from CNET. He's right up there with a flash primed by Cracks. Well, not quite. We see him taking the orb, but
You got this, bro. You got this. You don't need my YouTube.
Yeah,
flash? Nah.
I'm
Grab
busy.
the orb.
I'm busy. In a minute, wait. Well, they've conceded the control instead, and...
What?
Well, I'm not sure I can criticize Purpo whatsoever for that. He's just being spammed by the 1 weak weapon they have through a smoke. So,
Cool.
unlucky, my dude.
Yeah,
Hell of a time
best
for it to
player
happen.
so far from GX has just died to straight BS. I don't know what Mr. Fallen knows that I don't. In fact, there's probably a lot of things, but CNET still aggro. They know he's here. Paranoia to try and force him back, but there's counter flashes. There you go. They're being popped in to try and help him out. Thing is, though, trades are effective. Aftershock is going to delay them for a little bit. 40 seconds left. They still have time to play with, and with the pit down on the other side of the map, you can't really expect Ana Captain to leave his post until the very last second. Guess we'll leave these 2 players a little bit isolated, and one still only has a stinger.
Well, the Stinger's already tasted blood, so I certainly wouldn't underestimate it. Thought the Odin was good for spamming, but Mr. Fallen's opened my eyes. Aggressive play from Hoodie. Knows the space is free, why not take it?
10 seconds left.
They'll have a chance to convert a couple of kills as they make their way through. You just have to hope and pray it's not the Stinger that comes running around that corner. He could be in a lot of trouble. Players down below to support, but really it's Hoodie against the crowd with Cloud slightly further back to take that shot, but it's all dependent on timing. Cloud's having to look at mid. And Hoodie's found the first, even stunned up. He's good for 1. Famsy's got the flank covered, and now they look forward. Cracks, though, makes it possible, makes it doable. Time still a concern. They've wrapped around, looking to isolate a fight. Done it as well. Now Famsy's the last one standing. Spray is good, but he's caught by the Rolling Thunder. Cracks, with 3 kills, has secured the 12th round for FUT.
Yeah. Again, these retakes, it was the same in the last map. You leave them in clutch scenarios, and this team just plays so well in tandem.
Yeah, now that's just ridiculous, to be honest.
It's just rude. But no, these shots from Cracks were just tasty. The aggressive one, even getting the Rolling Thunder in the last second, which threw Famzy up into the air. With only a second left, it was enough for them to close out another round. Round number 17, just a blip, as they are now 1 round in the next 6 from, well, pushing themselves above Heretics for now. And on the other side of things, eliminating GX.
And so far, the most GX have been able to obtain is 2 in a row, closing out the half or opening it with the pistol and the follow-up in half number 1. We need to see a stall out of this foot side. And it's almost incomprehensible the level GX would need to hit, starting with 3 pistols and 2 rifles. Purpo managed to find a lot of value, both with the pistol and with his ultimate in the past. The ult is online. I have a feeling we might even see it used. But another problem, Tom, is getting past the Cypher utility. Luckily, they're gone to the C site where there's no Cypher util waiting. There is, however, a Cypher who's getting a great ran straight in. Okay, no kills, but lots of damage.
Yeah, 2 players down to sub 30 HP. Could have come out with 2 kills instead. He's made it a bit easier for his team, and now Cloud is going to join them. Another sub 30 HP player. Vitinho has more than all of them combined, and well, he doesn't even really have the weaponry to play with it. Wary of his flank. Aftershock, he's got to move. It's forced them all into a similar corner, but Captain's been trapped. Held back for a second. This fight is everything. Has to be won, and it isn't. Now they're all just cannon fodder. Every single member low, and everyone will fall. It is done and dusted. A clean sweep for FUT. And unfortunately, that is the demise of Giant X.
This is where the story ends for GX, but for FUT, it's just getting started. They know they're running it through the playoffs, and they'll watch that Heretics game to find out if it's first or second seed. But my goodness, they have earned their spot there. Stage 1, they look good, and they're coming out of Stage 2 with a new form. Remember, this result against GX, it might have looked reasonable when you started out Stage 1, but the last couple weeks, GX have shown us a new form. They've risen to new heights, but against this FUT squad, it's just not enough. One of the strongest competitors we have out there, the old and the new, I suppose, between them and Heretics. They're always so much fun to watch play, but that guy out of captain, check him PC. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think for GX it's got to be a rough one. You've come into a day where both Captain and Cena were just frying. Like, the chance of you winning a game if you're anybody is slim, but for them, with still a relatively new player, a guy who's literally playing in the Spanish League a few days ago, it is a tough team to play against. FUT are definitely up there right now, and for GX, well, I think they've got some pieces of the puzzle already. I think Famzy as a new addition looks great. I think Purpo, the way he's come in this split, definitely made this team more of a contender. Unfortunately, it's the first split. That was what has hurt them. It's gone so terribly at the beginning that the comeback here would have had to been unstoppable. And unfortunately, the team that was unstoppable today is the Turkish squad on your screen right now.
It absolutely was. You could pick out any member of this team, and I think it's fair to say they pulled their weight. Across the board, a clean showing from FUT, and this sets them up as a big contender for any teams looking to take them down in playoffs. You're going to make sure, or hope, that they're not on your side of the bracket, because I don't think you're making it far if they are.
Yeah, either way, we're going to be tossing things off over to the post plan, and it'll be Yedajay and Mr. Farlin who are going to be joining a little bit later on.
It will be indeed. Thank you very much, Mitch and Tom. For now, I've got Kaquka here with me. And with that win from FUT, we can officially confirm that Giant X have been eliminated from their playoffs contention. Honestly, Kaquka, given how Stage 1 went for them, I am surprised that they managed to hang on for all this time, you know, to make it all the way to the last game for them of the season. I feel like there's definitely a lot that they could, positives they could look towards.
Totally. Not only that, we need to think of Giant X as a team who changed new kit middle of the competition. We also know that we had some players coming in and out. More of a, let's say, premeditated the decision, right, to go in with the changes. We know that Wood was coming for the side of Heretics, but on the side of Giant X, I think that they've been dealing with some of the punches. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make playoffs. We know that last year they won the last chance qualifier. That meant them going to chance, but this year it's just not going to be it.
Oh, that was such a beautiful tournament too, I feel like.
For them especially.
Oh God, it was such a great tournament. I am a little bit sad for them because, like I said, there seems to be a lot of silver linings for this team. They showed us glimpses of greatness. They took some maps, not even some maps, they took so many maps off of their opponents. I feel like people forget that they were never kind of dominated, with the exception of today maybe, in their losses.
I think probably today is a mix between the tiredness of the entirety of the year, the expectations, the pressure. Some of them mistakes that we have been pointing out for them were there. Some of them were not, but I think it was just shaky. And on the other side, we saw a FUT that was unbelievable to go against. Sometimes they would just hit the most stupid shots, and sometimes it would be Atacaptan being the best freaking player in the history of Valorant.
I feel like we've said this before a few times, but that did feel like a scrim. That felt like on the side of FUT, it was a bit of a scrim for them. They were just kind of running loose, playing together, showing their best. And I think it's going to be really tough as we go into playoffs. I don't even know who I think is going to make it to Shanghai. Well, FUT and Heretics. Outside of those two teams, I really don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm down for some surprises. You know, I want one of the teams that we're talking about, the more mid-lower table, to just make it. Have a crazy round. We need a good narrative for champs. You could be that.
Yeah, honestly, if Gentlemates make it, it would be so crazy, I feel like. But we do have two gentlemen here in the studio with us, Mr. Fallen and Yetta J. Come and join us. Come and join us.
You're good. You can walk.
Yeah. Come and sit down. Been a week since we've seen you guys. You look great today. Honestly, I felt like that was probably you at your best, right? Is that how it felt out there?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you feel like you played your best out there?
Actually, no, because this game was just like a prank, you know, because we had a mixed playoff, so that was the whole comms was just very, very chill.
Yeah.
The best chill probably in this year right now.
Relax.
I think that's the key, you know? Well, you are not relaxed.
We heard you screaming from here. Yep,
I
every
just
time.
always cheering for my team.
Can
That's
you
my
tell
job.
me, so how do you do it, right? Because sometimes, you know, I've gone to a concert, I've lost my voice.
Many times,
you know,
yeah,
many
yeah,
times. I lose my voice quite often, and then I see you scream, and there has to be something that you do, because you do it quite often.
Is
But
it from
still
the
you-
diaphragm?
Yeah.
Is that a technique?
no, just except super weak. I'm just holding my voice more like less. When we play, we are just playing in the only 1 week, 1 match, so I can just ready for next match.
Oh, so during the week you're like
Yeah,
chill, you're not screaming in scrims or
Yes,
anything,
yes.
and then
Never, yeah.
you get on that stage, it's like "Ah!"
Only in stage.
Oh wow! I think was you or Sina that said that you had his volume a little bit lower.
Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah, you
I
still
had mine,
do.
yeah, it's the same.
Is everyone else the same? They all have his volume a little bit lower, you know?
No, I think they all fixed that, but
I think they like to feel it.
yeah, they feel it, but when it screams, my ear just blowing up, and my coach too. When he speaks, my ears every time just going up down. So everyone just say, guys, I can't hear you, coach, but I'm hearing too well. So
That's
why?
such a good strat. Like if somebody's screaming at you, just like turn their
I feel
volume
you.
down.
I'm Spanish, so I'm the loudest one in my groups. They also have my volume turned down, which is a good choice. I think that Cracks, we also saw him in the camera. You were having one of your shots, and at this point, he's just looking calm. Like he expects us. You know, everybody just deals with it because they know it's coming.
Yeah, but let's talk about your comps as well, because we often speak to teams that aren't running the Viper anymore. The teams are like, we don't really like the Viper, especially on Lotus, but I think you and Fnatic might be the only teams, there might be one other one that I'm forgetting, that still stick with this Viper. Why?
I don't know. We are just playing what we prepare for. Like
we always try new things on Prex, but sometimes it doesn't work. Just saying, guys, okay, just go back to the default. So why not?
Okay, you talk about defaults, right? But at the beginning of the year during stage 1, we saw you testing. It's okay, you can test. That's what we're here for. We're here to, you know, have some entertainment and discover some new things, have some new proposals. But for this stage, the innovation is gone. Like you change the composition on split, you move away from the chamber, and now you're in a more stale position. What has changed between that stage 1 and stage 2 for you to make that decision?
Sometimes it depends on the match. While we are winning the match, we always say, guys, okay, we win the match, but how? If they play better, we just played good. We always sticking in together. So, like Lotus, we was playing on Sage comp, but we just only tried once, and guys, okay, let's try the second one, because why not? They're not gonna expect it, because everyone thinks one-time comp.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, just surprise them and take the second one. And the third one, we said, guys, of course they're gonna think we're gonna change it. Let's try it again. But on the third match where it doesn't work, okay guys, it doesn't work, so we have to change it on the split two.
until we lose.
Yeah, and,
Mastermind.
yeah, and
actually-
why we lose, we just change it, that's all.
Sorry. Actually, on split, we just changed in chamber after Fnatic game because they know where we put the traps and they just every time exploding it. So
The
we
counter
said,
strat. You felt
And they
the
left
counter.
the door
you
open.
felt
Now
They
that
come to us.
Fnatic has done it, everybody can do it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the chamber because I feel like CNED was probably the obvious choice when it comes to the new duelist meta. You know, maybe the ISO coming in, maybe the Neon coming in. I know you mentioned previously maybe Cracks would try it as well. You are one of 2 teams in the entire league that have not touched the Neon, have not touched the ISO since the changes. Why is that?
Yeah. Well, there's a word for that, but I'm not gonna use it right now. We already tried on Neon ISO on different maps and different comps, but there is no one in the team like this energy to play Neon and ISO.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop you right there. Weren't you who told us that Cracks was going to be playing it?
I didn't say he's gonna play. I told you he might be play. I didn't say we're gonna play. You can just play
You
it.
said there were 2 people that
Yeah,
can play.
if they're gonna play it, then I just
Okay.
told on the
Got
review.
baited.
Honestly,
I didn't say we're gonna play.
I assumed the other was CNED. If you had to,
Oh, yeah.
I assume. But what do you think? You
The
not
third
liking?
one was ISO, by the way, but we didn't try
Yeah?
it. Yep.
Yeah, I tried. I think, I want ISO, but they just don't let me play.
We're getting robbed. Gaius,
Robbed.
we need to have a
And
talk.
I tried Neon.
tried Neon too?
I think we was good on this comp, yeah.
Yeah, but so why are we not? Is it maybe like 4 players? Maybe, you know,
I don't know why I'm not
chance?
that. Maybe I'm just better. That's why.
He's like
when I play today.
Mitchman saying he doesn't want him to play the agent and not let anything go for what they have prepared for playoffs.
No, why we were just trying Neon? He was a good player, but sometimes it doesn't match with the teamwork. You gotta stop it. That's all.
Does that mean if you were kind of playing the Neon ISO, does that mean we see CNED back on the chamber? Was that how you accommodate for something like that? Or you go, just go double duelist?
No, I guess Chamber is just down for the meta right now. There's probably no one is gonna play Chamber because
Don't say it. They are watching. Maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe.
We
who
never
doesn't
know.
There is so many characters in the game.
Yeah,
You
true,
can just
but-
play everything, but I don't think everyone's gonna play Chamber right now. So
Are we ever going to see you have
Chamber
some
buff,
fun?
please.
You know?
well, sometimes I just
You get to
try
have some fun?
different characters on maybe some maps, but it doesn't work.
Oh no, I like that you get to try. Is this more a Gaius saying like, I need you guys to be more flexible? Or is this you guys coming forward to him being like, I want to try this?
Especially these guys. Of course, while someone just said, okay, I want to try this, we give him, but like I said, it doesn't match on me sometimes, maybe it does something on Yetujay. It depends on the match and depends on the game, sorry.
So what has to happen to see CNED back on Omen?
He's not in Navi anymore, so.
Yeah, he's not in Navi anymore.
I
so.
also feel like there's like at least maybe 4 other Omen players on your team that could do it.
Well,
Right?
he plays sometimes.
Yeah.
Yolata
There's
is good
actually
enough.
4 other
From
people
what I'm
that could.
hearing here,
No, 3.
Yetujay's a flex
3?
god and he's
Only 3.
being
No.
misused.
There is no way
Not
to
that
Cracks
much.
playing Smoke right now.
Oh, true,
Impossible.
Cracks.
Yeah,
But then
impossible cracks.
you can do triple control and then double duelist.
Maybe.
I feel like
Why
Gaius.
they don't say no?
Maybe.
After that composition in Lotus, anything's
Gaius cooks, right? Gaius cooks. Actually, I wanted to ask you about Gaius because I think when we talk about coaches, I think he's very underrated. I think not a lot of people bring him into the conversation as the best coach. He's always the best Turkish coach, you know, not even like the best coach full on.
Yeah,
do you
that's
agree with that? You think people should give him more credit?
Yeah, I think.
Yes, of course, but yeah.
He don't care about like
Being popular.
what people say. He don't want to be
Recognition.
popular that much. He's just doing his job, and he's so good.
He's
That's why he's the best.
He's
He's a
trying
humble
his
king.
best and he's
Yeah,
trying to keep ourselves in the best in the game. That's all.
I like it when he gets angry as well because sometimes he's not actually angry, he just looks angry. I feel like people misinterpret him.
I think he's always angry, but because no, I'm not gonna say bad thing. He's always angry because if we are just losing one round, he knows exactly we just did it wrong, and he has to, just keep together us again. Because if you make some mistakes, we have to don't do it in the second round.
He's passionate, he's invested.
He's passionate, yes, because he said, guys, okay, we win the match, but what did we do? We always pick one man, just kill the match. How am I gonna watch the match right now after the game?
Yeah, true.
What do I see?
Don't throw the eco, you can't be throwing against ecos.
Yeah, like don't throw the eco. What did you do? Why you pick one by one? Like that. So I think he's really underrated and he has to get respect on everyone probably.
I agree. I think it's time we stop this. I think this word, Turkish coach, Turkish team, I think we should just start saying best team in general. From one great coach to another, Neil Zinho was with us last week and he left a question for you guys. Take a look at this. You got this.
What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Oh!
Neil,
Did you hear it?
did you catch that?
Of course.
Yeah. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
You first.
Well, I didn't listen to Taylor Swift. So.
Oh, wow.
Are you a Swiftie today?
Yeah, I knew the exact
I don't have a friendship bracelet
You are
right
my
now, but I'll
favorite
get
player
you
in the
one.
world.
I
You
have
are
a
my
playlist
favorite
of this.
player.
I have playlist for Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay, name me a few. You don't have to just do one. Give me a few that you like.
My most popular for me, like Love Story.
Oh, okay.
And
Fearless girly.
I like August.
Oh
my God. Dang, give me some-
Culture.
yeah.
And
Culture.
Some folklore.
something else. I don't know.
What about the new album?
I should listen, but I don't know.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Honestly, the range of Love Story to August is.
Yeah.
I think
What's
You
you're
went
your
from very
favorite?
public to very like niche,
have a
like
lot
I
of
feel
respect.
August, you know?
What's your
so my
favorite?
plans. My favorite, well,
depends what day.
yeah, exactly. It depends. Like, I'll have to go all too well because it's a long story. But imagine being 14, having a song that is that important, and then 10 years later, she releases a 10-minute version. You know, that hit me
Yeah.
Yeah.
very deep.
For you?
You like All Too Well 10-minute version?
Of course.
Oh, yes.
She's a back to December girly. She's a
Yeah,
back to
I like Back to
girly.
December, but for me, like every day, you know, mood. Like sometimes you're like you want to cry yourself to sleep, but sometimes you're like I want to party. So
Yeah.
very different.
You don't
mood.
know if you're feeling 22.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think right now my favorite song is probably "But Daddy I Love Him" from the new album. It's a
You
diss
have
track
to
on the
listen to
Swifties.
it.
Yeah, I have. I
Yeah.
guess.
Peter.
Yeah.
I will listen.
Honestly, Mr. Farley,
Yeah,
you need
you're
to
missing out.
I'm the imposter here right now, so I'm not listening.
you need to share your playlist with him.
Like he's just listening everything, but I think Turkish, and he likes to listen more rock maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you the only Swiftie on foot? Is there anyone else that
I
shares
don't
your
know.
passion?
You have to ask, and we need to know.
Yeah, on I mentioned.
Oh, okay.
So if we go to the Eras tour again, you want to join us?
I can try. I can try. I don't know.
And Neil wants to go.
Yes.
So us
Okay.
three, Neil and Mitchman, we're gonna head to the Eras Store again. Before we let you guys go, there's just a couple more things. First of all, you're gonna have to leave a question for the guests coming here tomorrow. I believe it will be the Fnatic versus Team Liquid game. So be a winner of them. Again, like you saw Neil, you don't have to ask anything about Valorant. Ask whatever you want. Yeah.
Senden olsun ya. Ben sormuştum.
I like how they're conferring. Yeah.
I'm just saying you're gonna ask, but
I'm trying to help you guys out. But I mean, whatever you're passionate about. I mean,
they
Neil was
probably,
very.
so hear me out. So they just won, right? Because they're in postman, not you. I mean, tomorrow. So most likely, I believe that Team Liquid chances of going to playoffs if they win are very high. So maybe you can ask them, you know, something about playoffs.
Screw playoffs.
Yeah,
Ask them
you, can,
like.
you can be like, are you joining me in Korea?
Yeah, ask them. I feel like we go rogue here. Like, what do you guys like to do in your spare time? What's your favorite hobby besides gaming?
I actually don't know. I'm just watching some concert videos. Like
Oh, concerts?
yeah, like last time I just watched Billie Eilish.
Oh, Billie.
Yeah, Billie Eilish.
You're such a good taste.
Lollapalooza or something. Yeah.
Okay, maybe you can ask them who their favorite concert. Maybe the last concert they went to last, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay. For the good, no?
why we want?
Okay. For who won? Like
Who came here?
Yeah, who came here? Just what's your most like to watch concerts?
I like that. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a very, very good question. And it's Fnatic. I mean, we're going to get some good answers from them, I feel like. We have some like K-pop fans and other Swifties there.
Boss has to come here right now.
As well. Oh, well, he would have to win for something. But do we have a standing? Do we have a bracket? Because I wanted to quickly ask you guys one more question. This is the standing right now. You're not quite top seed because you lost the Heretics. So if they win, unfortunately, they will be the #1 seed. But if they lose, you will be the #1 seed, which means you dodge the 3rd seed versus 6th seed match. And that would be Fnatic. Fnatic are 100% locked in as the 3rd seed. At this point, do you feel like that is a game that you would like to dodge? Does it make a difference to you, whoever you play? Or you feel like there's a better matchup for you?
It doesn't matter. We're just playing our best every time.
Well, if you have to go champions, you have to win every team, and if you're gonna be champions, you gotta win every team. So there's
I
no
want to go
difference.
there.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I
I'd
like
be scared.
that.
They want to be the #1 in EMEA, right? At least.
course.
Yeah, why would I scare?
Yeah, and I want you to guys go all the way as well. That final, you know, we're gonna be excited and to enjoy you guys if you ever make it all the way there. But thank you very much. It's been amazing to see you guys this stage. We will see you at playoffs. It's gonna be fun. Thank you very much, Kaquka, for joining me today as well. Today was fast, wasn't it, guys? That was crazy.
It's because there's football going on.
Yeah, there is football going on. There's also football going on tomorrow, but more importantly, there's more VCT EMEA going on tomorrow. We're gonna be back for more games, for more playoffs hype. Of course, there's still 3 more teams I need to lock. So everybody, have a lovely rest today, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
One enemy remaining.
Careful of this blade storm up top. It's messy, but he gets there. He gets there in the end. I mean, it's a big task, and it's a big fail.